March 2026 Visa Bulletin is out, and a line could unlock your green card filing month if you are inside. If you are EB2, especially outside India and China, the dates for filing chart may finally be current in March. That matters because filing I-45 can give you work authorization and travel permission while your green card case is pending. I'm Fernando, and this is US Policy Brief, where we explain the bulletin so you can act before windows close. This video is general information, not legal advice, and USCIS still decides which chart it will use each month officially. Now let's break down March 2026 movements for employment and family categories and what you should do right away today. The Visa Bulletin has two charts: final action dates and dates for filing, and they mean different things for applicants. Final action dates control when a visa number is available and when a green card can actually be approved finally. Dates for filing control when you may file I-45 inside the United States, if USCIS chooses that chart monthly here. When filing opens, you can request an EAD and advance parole, which reduces pressure to maintain shaky temporary status alone. USCIS posts a short announcement each month telling applicants whether to use final action dates or dates for filing chart. So the biggest practical question for March is simple. Will USCIS allow dates for filing for employment categories again today? If USCIS uses dates for filing in March, EB2 Rest of World becomes current, which is a major opportunity now. Current on that chart means you can file I-45 even though the final action date may still be months behind. Many people on F1 OPT, H1B, O1, L1, TN, or E visas could benefit immediately from filing there this month. Concurrent filing may be possible for NIW or employer cases, meaning I-140 and I-45 can be filed together too sometimes. That can create work authorization and travel permission in months, instead of relying on repeated status extensions for years alone. But you must move fast, because when categories open widely, April can retrogress after a filing surge hits USCIS hard. In this bulletin, EB2 India also advances on the filing chart, creating new filing ability for many workers in status. China remains separate and India remains backlogged, but movement still matters because it unlocks EADs and travel documents sooner now. For countries without extreme demand, EB2 filing can be current, and it can be the best moment of year 2026. If you are planning NIW, this is when attorneys recommend filing, because you can remain in the US during processing. If you are employer-sponsored, your company may file the I-140 with premium processing and file I-485 for use simultaneously. If you cannot file I-485, you can still file I-140 to lock a priority date, but you wait longer afterward. EB1 also shows forward movement in March, with India and China advancing modestly on final action dates again this month. If you qualify for EB1A Extraordinary Ability, EB1B Outstanding Professor, or EB1C Multinational Manager, keep your case ready always too. Even small EB1 advances can matter because EB1 is the top preference and becomes current faster than EB2 or EB3. But do not switch categories just because of 1 month, because eligibility standards and evidence requirements differ widely by case. A strong EB1 petition takes months of preparation, and a weak filing can waste money and trigger future scrutiny too. So if you are close to EB1 level, use March to plan, but file only when your evidence is ready. EB3 professionals and skilled workers continue to move, and some analysts expect more movement if visa supply remains steady throughout. Certain countries like the Philippines and Mexico show specific advancements, while India and China remain constrained by demand still today. EB3 other workers also advances in some places, but it remains years behind. so expectations should be realistic for most. If you are on EB3 and you can file I-485 under dates for filing, you gain flexibility even before approval. Some people hope EB3 becomes current later in the fiscal year, but you should not gamble your status on rumors. Instead, prepare your documents now, so if filing opens suddenly, you can submit quickly and avoid missing the window entirely. EB4 special immigrants, including certain religious workers, shows a meaningful jump, which may signal a rebalancing in 2026 overall today. EB5 remains current for many countries, while India and China keep separate dates, so investors should confirm specifics carefully monthly. EB4 and EB5 moves can change quickly because these categories depend on statutory set-asides and annual numbers too often. If you are in an immigrant category, do not assume the program stays open because some sunsets happen by law. If you are an investor, remember conditional residence and the I-829 process still apply, and documentation remains essential for approval. The Visa Bulletin is a snapshot, but your long-term plan must include USCIS processing times and compliance steps too. Family categories in March look slower, and many final action dates show little movement compared to employment categories right now. That does not mean family petitions are dead, but it means families must plan for long consular waits and delays. Some categories, like F4 siblings, move painfully slowly, and small advances can still represent years of waiting for most people. If you are a permanent resident sponsoring a spouse, pay attention to F2A, because filing dates can be much better. When F2A filing dates advance, some couples inside the United States can file adjustment sooner, but entry rules still apply. So for family cases, the strategy is earlier filing, clean documentation, and patience, while monitoring bulletin changes monthly closely too. Visa issuance abroad is also shaped by embassy capacity, security screening, and local staffing, which can slow family interviews significantly. When consulates issue fewer family visas, unused numbers sometimes shift to employment categories, and that can accelerate EB movement temporarily. That is one reason you may see strong EB2 movement even while family dates stay flat for long periods again. For applicants, the lesson is not politics, it is planning, because numbers can shift between categories within a fiscal year. If you are consular processing, keep documents current, especially police certificates, and respond fast to NVC checklists when they arrive. If you are adjusting in the United States, focus on maintaining status until you file, and avoid travel without permission. So what should EB2 applicants do right now, before March starts, to avoid missing the filing opportunity entirely this year? First, confirm your country of chargeability, because spouse cross-chargeability can change eligibility and filing timing dramatically for some couples. Second, confirm you are in a lawful status that permits adjustment, because entry issues or overstays can complicate I-485 filings. Third, prepare your medical exam strategy, because USCIS rules on I-693 validity affect how you time your filing properly now. Fourth, gather your documents for I-485, I-765, and I-131 so you can request work and travel permissions together as well. Fifth, build a complete I-140 packet, because a rush petition invites RFEs that can waste the advantage of filing openings. If you are filing NIW, you may file I-140 and I-485 concurrently when the filing chart is current for you. If you are employer-sponsored, your employer may need a labor certification first, but some cases already have perm approved. If your I-140 is ready, premium processing can give a fast decision, but it does not guarantee the I-45 timeline. Adjustment processing varies by field office, and biometric scheduling, background checks, and interview waivers can change timing a lot too. When you file I-45, you can include your spouse and children, which can protect families from status gaps later on. But remember, filing is only possible if you are eligible, so never assume tourist status or late entries are safe. If EB2 filing becomes current for countries, expect a surge of filings, and that can trigger retrogression in April. Retrogression does not cancel filings already accepted, but it can stop new filings and delay final approvals later again too. That is why March filing windows are valuable, because they let you lock your place and get EAD processing started. Even if your green card cannot be approved immediately, the benefits of filing can stabilize your life and work plans. Students nearing OPT expiration often use adjustment filing to avoid urgent, last-minute school enrollments just for status purposes alone. Workers in shaky job markets also benefit because an EAD can reduce dependence on a single employer or visa category. Please remember, being current on dates for filing does not mean your final action date is current and approval waits. But the filing chart is powerful because it lets you start the adjustment process, and that process can take months. So when you hear someone say EB2 is current, always ask which chart and whether USCIS is using it now. In March 2026, the filing chart is the headline because it opens doors for people inside the United States legally. If you are outside the United States, the filing chart does not apply because consular processing follows final action dates. So overseas applicants should still track interview capacity, documentarily qualified status, and security checks, not only bulletin dates each month. For family filing charts, the big practical item is F2A, because spouses of green card holders can sometimes file sooner. If you are a green card holder sponsoring a spouse in the United States, check whether filing date is open. But eligibility still requires lawful entry and admissibility, so do not assume marriage alone guarantees adjustment without complications in March. For F1, F2B, F3, and F4 categories, movement is slow, and consular delays can add time beyond bulletin dates too. That is why family petitioners should file I-130 early, keep evidence strong, and monitor both charts every month carefully now. If your family case is outside normal processing, there are tools, but start with service requests and congressional help first. Here is your March action plan in plain language. Confirm chart, confirm eligibility, prepare packets, and file early this month. Start with your attorney or a trusted checklist because missing one required document can cause rejections and lost time today. Prepare passport copies, birth certificates, translations, I-94 records, and prior approval notices, because USCIS wants clean identity proof for everyone. For employment cases, confirm your job offer letter and supplement, or your NIW Endeavor documents, are current and persuasive now. For adjustment, consider filing I-765 and I-131 together, and keep copies because those receipts protect you while waiting in 2026. Finally, do not wait until late March, because courier delays and lockbox rejections happen, and April retrogression is possible too. Example 1. You are on F1 OPT with an NIW ready, and March filing lets you submit everything without leaving. That means you can stop chasing new school programs just to stay legal, and instead wait with EAD pending here. Example 2. You are on H-1B and your perm is approved, and concurrent I-45 gives your spouse work authorization too. That can change family finances because the spouse no longer depends on one visa, one job, or one employer alone. Example 3. You are abroad and the bulletin shows movement, but you still need final action to reach interview scheduling. So the bulletin creates opportunity, but your path depends on where you are filing and which agency controls the step. If you file I-485, you must still maintain lawful presence until filing, and you must avoid actions that create inadmissibility. Do not work without authorization before filing, and do not overstay intentionally, because those choices can block adjustment later on. After filing, your receipt notices matter because they prove you're in a pending adjustment period with permission to remain. If you also receive an EAD, confirm employer I-9 rules because some employers misunderstand categories and cause unnecessary stress today. Advanced parole allows travel while I-45 is pending, but travel can still carry risks for people with prior violations too. So if you have any arrests or old immigration issues, ask counsel before traveling, even with an approved travel document. If April retrogresses, your pending I-45 remains pending, and USCIS can continue processing until it needs a visa number again. That means biometrics and EAD can still be issued, even if the green card decision must wait longer now. Some people confuse retrogression with denial, but retrogression is a numerical limit problem, not a rejection of your merits case. However, you must keep USCIS informed of address changes because missed notices are the easiest way to lose time later. When your priority date becomes current on final action, USCIS can complete approval quickly if your file is already clean. So filing during an open month can still be worth it because you are closer to the finish line today. You may hear that anyone in the United States, even on B2, can file adjustment when EB2 filing is current. The truth is more careful. Adjustment depends on lawful entry, intent, timing, and whether you complied with your visa terms. Filing after entry as a tourist can create intent concerns, so do not treat this bulletin as a tourist strategy. If you are already in valid status, like H-1B or F-1, the analysis is usually more straightforward for filing now. If you are not sure, ask a lawyer to review admission records and any prior violations before you file anything. A fast filing is not worth a denial for inadmissibility. So protect your case by confirming eligibility first, always now. When filing I-45, double-check fees, addition dates, and signatures, because lockbox rejections are common during busy months like March. Include the correct photos, birth certificate translations, and copies, because missing basics can cause rejections and lost filing dates too. Decide whether to file the medical exam now or later, based on your attorney's guidance and USCIS validity rules today. If you have dependents, prepare their packets as carefully as yours, because one missing document can delay the whole family. After filing, track receipt numbers, attend biometrics, and respond fast to any RFE, because deadlines are strict in 2026 too. If you move, file AR-11 and update every pending case, because missed mail is a silent case killer right now. Many viewers ask when the EAD arrives after filing, and the honest answer is it varies by workload and location. Some people see cards in 3 to 6 months, others wait longer, but the receipt starts the clock running today. Advanced parole timing also varies, so if you have urgent travel, discuss expedite criteria and evidence with counsel early too. Do not leave the United States without the correct travel document if required, because that can abandon your I-485 application. If you already hold H-1B or L-1, some travel can still be possible, but get individualized guidance before you go. The filing window is valuable because it reduces status anxiety, and that is why March 2026 matters so much now. Whenever a bulletin opens, scammers appear promising guaranteed filings, guaranteed approvals, or secret shortcuts, and you must ignore them completely. No lawyer can guarantee USCIS approval, and no consultant can change the Visa Bulletin. So verify claims carefully today, always. A legitimate professional will review your documents, discuss risks, and put advice in writing, not pressure you with fear tactics. If someone asks you to file under the wrong category or asks you to hide facts, walk away immediately now. The March Bulletin is an opportunity, but only for eligible cases, so do not let urgency override honesty ever again. Your best protection is a complete file, a truthful record, and a plan that matches the chart USCIS uses monthly. Let's summarize March 2026 in one idea. EB2 filing opens for many, and that can change your timeline dramatically today. Use the bulletin correctly. Know your category, know your chart, and know your status. Then file with confidence this month. If you are EB2 rest of world and inside the US, this could be a filing window for years too. If you are India or China, movement still matters because it opens filings for more people and shifts planning forward. If you are family-based, stay patient, keep documents clean, and watch F2A opportunities if they apply to you now. And for everyone, remember that a Visa Bulletin is useful when you pair it with USCIS choices and preparation. If you want these updates every month, subscribe to US Policy Brief, because we cover the bulletin and filing strategies. Like this video so it reaches people before March deadlines hit, and share it with someone stuck in limbo today. Comment which category you are in and whether you are filing inside the United States, and I will respond soon. Do not post personal receipt numbers, but ask general questions, because your privacy and safety matter online in 2026 too. I'm Fernando, and I will keep tracking official USCIS chart announcements, because they decide whether March filing is possible again. Stay organized, file accurately, move early, and let the Visa Bulletin work for you instead of against you this spring.